You still can. You just have to get a small pizza.
I'm pretty sure I walked in the door at about
That's easy.
8:06.
Personal pie.
Okay, like getting this going, getting this thing going.
Oh my! Used to struggle. This is the first time back since. As I get older, that's
yeah.
I visit
Welcome.
Very first time in this room.
Yes. Silverstein. Rabbi.
Now I can fill up a little fanny pack.
Boris. Let's see if you could spot.
When I started driving gas, it was
Almost at standing room only.
for 50 gallons. See if there's most people.
Oh boy. Very low signal. That's the real reason for all of this. He wanted us to not use our phones. Next week, a few of us are away, so just because the room's not full doesn't mean we don't need a full room.
Okay. Good. Good reasons.
Oh, wait.
Okay. Are we ready for action?
Ready to go.
Okay. Okay, good morning. Shalom Aleichem. I'd like to welcome everybody back. We say in life, Mailim B'Kodesh Ve'im L'Ridin. You go up in life, you don't go down. So from the last spot we were in, which sometimes people would comment that you see behind me, the wall was peeling a little bit. And there wasn't much our tech team could do to shield us from that until they redo the room. But now in the yeshiva's beautiful new Otzer HaSfarim, which Baruch Hashem also serves as a shir room, and we're happy to host the shir over here. As long as you're able to find this spot in the building, we're all okay. Today's shir in particular is sponsored by the Meirov family, sponsored by Ruth Meirov, in memory of her mother, Rivka Frimit, Bas Yosef.
It's my mother.
In memory of, memory of Gerald's mother, Rivka Frimit, Bas Yosef, this coming Thursday. Shabbat Shav and Aliyah. And, okay, Baruch Hashem, we're back. Yom Tov is coming. You hear the shofar blowing. You feel it. Just a simple look at the calendar. What's today's date? We're basically getting close to the middle of the month. And what that means is not only is Rosh Hashanah around the corner, Yom Kippur around the corner, the Yom Narayim, but we're already within the zone of Sukkot. So that means if Yom Narayim almost there, if Sukkot is almost there, we got to do some preparations. And really this year is all about preparations. Because not once, not twice, but basically 3 times in the next month or so, we'll come up to a major halachic issue. The fact, if you haven't seen this yet on your calendars, that Yom Tov goes directly into Shabbos 3 times. It happens on Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah falls out Thursday and Friday. Shabbos Shuvah is right after that, the connected Shabbos. Sukkot falls out Thursday, Friday. First day of Chol Moed is the connecting Shabbos. And to top it all off, the hat trick, Shmini Atzeres, Simchas Torah, after you dance and dance, it's on a Friday, goes straight into a Shabbos. So that's 3 straight Yom Tovim.
And the first days of Pesach.
Oh,
That's right.
they're the scary people here that want to scare you about Pesach already. Right now, I'm just scaring 3 straight Yom Tovim
Just scary.
go into Shabbos, and there's a major issue of preparing and cooking for that Shabbos, and that's the institution of Eiruv Tavshilin, and that's what today's topic is on. The shir we have officially entitled was "Don't Be That Guy Without an Eiruv Tavshilin." Now, I want to portray the basic idea of what we all think about this, and then the shir hopes to expand beyond that. So, the basic idea, everyone knows, okay, Rabbi, if I have the calendar falls out this way, where Yom Tov is Thursday and Friday, and then right after that you have a Shabbos, so you got to do this Eiruv Tavshilin business. Nowadays they make all these like reminders. Remember to do Eiruv Tavshilin, remember to do Eiruv Tavshilin. Okay. You also might have heard in the back of your head somewhere that if you don't do an Eiruv Tavshilin, the first time you do it, you're okay. The second time you do it, you're up the creek without a paddle. You're in big trouble. Why is that? What's that about? Right? Since when is 1 strike and you're out? I'll show you. It may not even be 1 strike and you're out. It might be worse.
No strikes.
It might be you're out.
4 balls.
Yeah. So what I want to do today is give a little background of Eiruv Tavshilin. I tried searching the yeshiva site to see if Rabbi Sharfman ever touched it. I'm sure he must have. But my spelling of Eiruv Tavshilin did not come up with a hit on the yeshiva's site. But I'm sure we've gone over the basic concept before. But it's good to review it and specifically talk on worst case scenarios. What happens if you're the guy who forgets the Eiruv Tavshilin? What do you do? So that's the goal of today's shir. We're going to encourage everyone here, from young to old, not to be that guy. And hopefully we'll learn a lot about this quite complicated concept. Yes?
So this happens way more often in Chutz La'aretz than in Eretz Yisrael. But even in Eretz Yisrael, for Rosh Hashanah, it happens this time.
Very good point. Yes. Being the fact we have more days of Yom Tov, as pointed out, yeah. The institution of Eiruv Tavshilin very much affects Chutz La'aretz more than Eretz Yisrael. But for example, everyone observes 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. We're going to talk about that. That has a very major halakha nafkamina. And yeah, so everyone, all Jews, no matter where you are, will be making the Eiruv Tavshilin in a couple of weeks, coming up to Rosh Hashanah. Now let's talk about Eiruv Tavshilin. I think probably the best way to deal with it is explain the concept. Now, anytime you go from Yom Tov to Shabbos, it's always confusing because the halachas of Shabbos and Yom Tov are not exactly the same. The clearest difference, we know on Shabbos you can't do any type of cooking. On Yom Tov, assuming the fire was ready lit, you could do cooking. So that's a pretty major ochel nefesh. Yom Tov to Shabbos makes a big difference. You know that. But, okay, so I can't cook on Shabbos. The good thing is I could cook on Yom Tov. Hey, so Shabbos is coming. Can I cook for Shabbos on Yom Tov? The answer is absolutely not. The halach of ochel nefesh, which allows a person to cook for Yom Tov, is you're only allowed to cook for that day of Yom Tov. On the first day of Yom Tov, you could cook for the first day of Yom Tov. On the second day of Yom Tov, you could cook for the second day of Yom Tov. On neither of those 2 days could you cook for Shabbos. Rabbi, so what am I going to do? Comes along the rabbis from way back, and they put together a tikkun, an idea to fix it, called an Eiruv Tavshilin. And the word Eiruv, right, we have that when it comes to Eiruv Chatzeros, right, within a courtyard, within, let's say, an apartment building. A lot of times people have Eiruvim. Then you have the bigger city Eiruvs. right? Tchumim. An Eiruv, by definition, here, an Eiruv Tavshilin, an Eiruv is a means of connection. Probably the best word to use to describe an Eiruv. An Eiruv is connecting. What the rabbis did was the following idea, which of course comes with caveats. We're connecting the food preparation you make on Erev Yontif. In our terms, that means on Wednesday. On Wednesday, you're cooking for Yontif. Right? Technically, you could also be cooking, preparing for Shabbos. We're connecting the cooking and baking that goes on Wednesday, Erev Yontif, together with everything you're going to do up until Shabbos. And by having this connection, on Wednesday you're allowed to cook for Shabbos, allowed to cook for Yontif. As long as I start the preparations for Yontif and Shabbos on Wednesday, that allows you to do cooking on Yontif for Shabbos. That's the basic idea behind an Eiruv Tavshilin. An Eiruv Tavshilin is going to say, as long as I do cooking on Erev Yontif, I am good, then now I could cook, let's say, on Friday for Shabbos. So again, normally on Yontif, I can't go from one day of Yontif cooking even for the next day. Certainly I can't cook for Shabbos, because the innate leniency of cooking on Yontif is for that day itself. However, with the concept of Eiruv Tavshilin, you're connecting what I'm doing on Erev Yontif to stretch and expand that I could do it on Friday for Shabbos. That's what's happening with the Eiruv.
Doesn't that assume that we're also being Mali in the Kodesh, but you couldn't do it the other way around from Yontif?
Correct,
from Shabbos
correct.
into Yontif.
Yes. Now, once we have that concept, there's a very interesting halacha I came across, which is Sif Yudalad. I didn't put the entire siman obviously on the page. This is not on your page yet. The Sif Yudalad deals with a very interesting shayla. And let's play it like this. We're going to talk in a moment what the actual procedure of an Eiruv Tavshilin is, but you're going to use two foods, a cooked food and a baked food. And as long as that Eiruv is intact, you could do your cooking, which we're going to talk about. It means if you put your Eiruv, right, let's say we'll talk, use your matzah and your hard-boiled egg, you put it down somewhere, and your kid eats it on the first day of Yontif. You have a problem. Your Eiruv is not intact for the second day of Yontif when you want to do that preparation. You need to hold on to that Eiruv. That Eiruv has to be intact for you until at least after you do your preparation for Shabbos. Then you could go and eat it. If it gets lost, it gets eaten before, that's one of the situations you have a problem. So you must put your Eiruv in a good spot and don't let your kids nibble on it. Or the husband late at night. Now, Josh, we can't blame everything on your kids, right?
That's not what I said.
Now,
I was going a different direction.
here's the yeshiva shagai's idea. So, Rabbi, is it possible for me to connect? You just told me there's 3 straight Yom Tovim that have an Eiruv Tavshilin going on. Could I connect, make an Eiruv Tavshilin on Erev Rosh Hashanah to last me through Motzei Sukkos?
That's going to be a delicious egg.
Yeah. A boat go. Huh? Yeah. Can I do one Eiruv Tavshilin to go straight for that? Fascinating shayla. So the Mechaber in Sif Yudal deals with in Heniach Eiruv al Das Lismach Kol Zman Sheyakayim Afil Yom Tov Acher L'Chachilo Lo Yismach Alav Yom Tov Acher Avdiavad Yachal Lismach Alav. There is a tzad in halacha that one could do that. One could double dip and use your Eiruv for multiple things. But Lamaisa, hold on one second. I want to show there's an interesting chalak between Rosh Hashanah and Sukkot. So let's start with the simplest step. So that means, let's say I did one on Rosh Hashanah. Excuse me, let's start with Sukkot. Let's say I did it on the Erev Sukkot. Could I use the same Eiruv Tavshilin to go till the end of Sukkot? The answer is yes. L'chachila, the Mechaber did bring the tzad not to, but there is a shita that allows that. Now, what was the chiluk he said? Yes, very simple chiluk. That even those that allow, they say there's a chiluk between the same yontif or a different yontif. So to do it for Sukkot, the first days of Sukkot and the last days of Sukkot, hashtos, that's still within the same yontif. Okay, kind of. That's okay. From Rosh Hashanah through Sukkot, that's clearly viewed as two separate Yom Tovim. So there you wouldn't be able to do that. But Lamaisa, there is a tzad to do this.
You have Yom Kippur in between, so you have Yom Tov where you're not using it also in between.
Good point. But as long as, right, could be as long as it's intact, Yom Kippur doesn't, it's not relevant to it. But as long as it's intact, one could do it. And I wonder, this might be, a good eight. So let's say there's a person who does an Eiruv on Erev Sukkot, forgets to do an Eiruv the last days of Sukkot. We just did one. Rabbi, I'm 2 for 3. I did Rosh Hashanah. I did Erev Yontif by Sukkot. I forgot the last days. Too much going on. I'm preparing for a big Kiddush on Simchas Torah. I forgot to do it. The first question I'll ask him,
Does he still have it?
Does he still have it? It's still intact. He could eat it. He's like, yeah, I'm not in the mood for harbor. It's still there. So, okay, l'chara, you need to have some das. We'll talk about that. But hashtos, there is a tzad in halacha of utilizing a bogo, of having an Eiruv Tavshilin stretch. You're connecting, same way you stretch an Eiruv around the whole town. Maybe you could stretch an Eiruv around the whole calendar and expand that. Now, what do you do? What's the procedure for an Eiruv? This is important. We've all done this. There's 2 parts. Number 1 is you're making a bracha. Number 2, you're making a declaration. Okay? Now, technically speaking, we'll get to that also in a moment, you only need 1 Eiruv per household. So you could do it yourself. No? There's an advantage. If you have a son-in-law, you could ask your son-in-law, hey, Yeshua, you mind doing it for me? So you could do that. As long as somebody is in your house, you can point them a shliach. But you make an Eiruv Tavshilin. Now, what's important is you're making a bracha, but besides the bracha, this declaration, ideally, it's something you should understand what's happening. Similar, we talk about, let's say, by Bittul Chametz, on Erev Pesach, you should understand the consequences. What does it mean, I am being mevatel my chametz? So the lashon we use, it's written in Aramaic, but you're 100% allowed to read it in English or whatever language is your mama lashon, Yiddish, whatever works. I'll read the Aramaic first. Bahadin Eiruva Yehi Sharala Lemifla Lebishla Letuye Luke Sharga. We have the Kol Tzarchina B'Yom L'Shabasa Lanu L'Chol Yisrael Adam B'Yer Azos. Okay, English translation. With this Eiruv, it should be permissible for us and all who live in this city to bake, cook, do hatmana, which means put things in an insulated vessel, light candles, and take care of all our Shabbos and Yom Tov needs. Okay? Now, that's the basic language a person uses in describing what the process is. Now, it's interesting, and I'll harp on it now, a couple points in the language you use. We have some lawyers in the room. So they know how to write up a contract, right? You spell out to bake, to cook, to do hatmana, to light candles, and then you say to take care of all your Shabbos needs on this Yom Tov. That's what you call an open clause, right? You're opening it up to use for other things. Now, really, that language is somewhat, not the language itself, but the concept is subject to debate. Does an Eiruv Tavshilin really work for other things too? For example, I'll give you a few examples. Mark. Let's say you're in a city that doesn't have an Eiruv, but you could carry things because it's on Yom Tov. Let's use the Yom Tov aspect. Let's talk about, let's say, one day of Yom Tov for the second day of Yom Tov, part of the Eiruv idea, right? So could I carry my talis home after the first day of Yom Tov? That's really a preparation for the second day. That preparation, the reason I picked that case, has nothing to do with food. It's clear that an Eiruv Tavshilin works for food-related points. Carrying a talis home is just convenience and something you're doing for Yom Tov. So does an Eiruv Tavshilin go on that? That's subject to debate. We have some Gabayim in the room, or people involved in the Gabay's cabinet. Rolling Sefer Torah. When are you allowed to roll the Sefer Torah for tomorrow?
That's 100% hachana.
It's 100% hachana. But, right? So is cooking and stuff for the next day.
Oh, they have to practice this.
So if you take the lenient opinion, that you're allowed to do all hachanos, all these preparations, mulachos, for the next day, so then I would be allowed to roll a Sefer Torah on the first day for the second day of Yom Tov.
But you're rolling. You can still do the exact same activity on the second day. There's no pressure to do it the second day. To cook on Shabbos, you have to cook before Shabbos.
Correct.
Because it's usher to do it on Shabbos.
Correct. So I'm doing a hachana. It makes my life easier. Now I'm the gabbai. You need help to do these things. So the help is here now. I could ask this person, he could help me now after davening on the first day of Yom Tov. Could I have him roll for the second day of Yom Tov, for the second day for Shabbos? So this is a machlokas practically, if we could extend the usage of an Eiruv Tavshilin beyond food and use of other things too. According to my notes, I found
for sure doesn't help day 1 to day 2.
Huh?
For sure doesn't matter day 1 to day 2. That's not, you're not helped at all by the Tavshilin for that. Anyway.
So I'm slipping in.
On what ground?
Is the Eiruv Tavshilin, and some people, Josh, for your point,
1 to 2.
Some people put this even into the language of an Eiruv Tavshilin. Is that really once I'm connecting, I'm not just connecting Friday to Shabbos, or Wednesday to Friday to Shabbos.
So then you're cooking Thursday.
It's Wednesday, Friday. Thursday, Friday, Shabbos. Everything's now all connected.
No.
I'm opening it all up. Now, this concept is very interesting. In the Mishnah Berurah itself, it seems like there is a contradiction. In fact, the contradiction is posed by the Shevet HaLevi. 2 spots, Mishnah Berurah sounds to say 2 different things. So, modern day poskim, Rebbe Yoshev was Mekel. I saw it in 2 sources. Rabbi Walcher quotes this. Arizeb Ginsburg quotes it. Both of them heard from Rebbe Yoshev. He could be Mekel. But David Feinstein was Machmer. And you only would allow for food. Yes.
The Erev Tavshilin, is that for the people in the house or is it for the house? And how would that apply to the people who are rolling the Sefer Torah in Shul?
Ooh, very interesting.
City.
Very interesting. Right. It's a heter for the people that live in the house. And just like rolling and carrying your Sefer Torah, carrying your Sefer Torah or your talis, right, that activity is being done outside the house. But it's not limited to this sphere of influence inside the house. It goes on the people.
Also for the city, though.
So there'd be no problem if you're cooking on Friday in a different house because you're going from one to the other?
Very good point. Yes. Yes. It would work for you to work in someone else's house and cook. Yes.
But it wouldn't work in the opposite? If my daughter-in-law comes to my house, she didn't do an Erev Tavshilin, and she cooks in my house.
Oh, okay. This gets tricky. Right.
Somebody,
right.
right?
Right? Here, Harvey, let me illustrate this better. Let's say, right, if you look at it from that perspective, what's brought up is the Erev Tavshilin, a heter on your house. So let's say my daughter-in-law comes there and they forgot to make an Erev Tavshilin. Now that they're in my house, they're safe, right? According to that line of thinking, you just came up with a good solution. If someone forgot to do the Eiruv Tavshilin, just run to a house that permitted it and do all your cooking there. Answer is no. You can't do it. It gets even worse.
So could she cook for me?
No. No. You can't do any cooking for them. She can't do cooking for you. She can be a wonderful cook. Right? No dispersions on your daughter-in-law. But
what if they're eating at their house? What if the daughter is eating at the Lichman's house? She's coming over there to help them cook.
So that's a heter. Right? You're allowed to benefit from food. One second. They can't cook. Right. They can't cook for you.
You could cook around. They can't do it for you. They can't do it for themselves, but they can do it for the collective.
Right.
Everyone in that place.
Right. Right. That would be okay. You invite. That is one of the eitzes. If you didn't make an Erev Tavshilin, you get invited out.
Well, you have scenarios where whatever it was, somebody has an Erev Tavshilin,
right.
the power's going out.
It really makes for a nafkamina. They can't send you food, but you could eat by them.
So
that makes a big nafkamina.
If they have ingredients,
right? So in that sense, you're right. It is something. There is something to the household.
But you're saying they can do the cooking, they can do the hachana in that house that does have the Eiruv for everyone.
But in that house.
What if they don't have?
Again, but the person,
if they don't have the ingredients in that house.
Okay, we're actually jumping a step. Hold on. Let's jump. Till now, we've talked about how the Eiruv Tavshilin works. I'm going to talk in a moment about what happens when you forget these things. So let's wait one moment. I'm watching the clock. This room is perfect. They don't have a clock. Right? And we know about the shul without a clock. The rabbi could just keep on going.
There's one on the thermostat.
Yeah, okay, the thermostat. Okay.
Can I just
yes, I'll let you do one more thing.
One quick thing. We can go back to the rolling Sefer Torah on first day Yontif or second day Yontif. How the first day Yontif has more kedusha than the second day Yontif? Yes, it's a Doraisa day. The second day is a Drabanan day. Okay. So how can you're being more reading?
Okay, that's true.
To do hachana on the first day for the second day. Yeah,
but the idea is that once you're already doing the preparation, so it's all connected. So in the Chanami ones, the Reisa ones, the Banan ones, Shabbos is more chomer too.
You're going up.
Right, you're going up.
Okay, but it's not a matter of ups or downs. That's for elevators. Here,
sure it is.
Not here. But hold on. Just to go over quickly, what is a procedure? So really, ideally, you should hold these items in your hand when you make this bracha. We said we need two items. You need, normally taken is a challah or a matzah. That represents your baked food. And the idea of why you're doing baking, because that's what you're permitting for yourself. I'm allowing myself to bake. But you're also allowing yourself to cook. So the second item is a cooked food. Now, really, what you could do for your cooked food is you have a potato kugel. Yeah, that's baked. But anything that you have cooked, it does not have to be a hard-boiled egg. It can be anything. Smoked brisket.
You want to eat it.
Right? Right. Okay.
Making this.
Boiled, boiled chicken. Right? Anything cooked suffices. I saw, it was Rabbi Walcher, explain, why is it that everyone uses a boiled egg? The answer is because your parents didn't use the hard-boiled egg. Why did your parents use a hard-boiled egg? Their parents. Why did their parents use a hard-boiled egg? Now, it could be, I'd have to go that far back. Very simple.
They would have used making the eggs already anyhow.
You need this cooked food to last from when? From Eiruv. Alan says forever, right? Exactly. But you at least, what's the least amount to span? It's from Wednesday all the way through Shabbos. Right? And normally one of the minhagim is you eat the Eiruv Tavshilin, Shabbos the second Suda, or Shabbos Shal Shudas. That would be when you would eat your Eiruv Tavshilin, not before. Right? Now the halacha is you need a kazayas. You know, if you nibble away, but you still have a kazayas left, right? Who was doing the roast before?
You're good.
Right? You're good. You need a kazayas. As long as there's something left.
So in egg you have a day.
Fish.
Yeah. But what's shot in the egg? Very simple. Refrigeration. You needed that cooked food to last for 3 days. Back in the Alta Haim, Lavdafka, they had easy ways to keep things refrigerated.
Salting, smoking.
So the easiest thing to keep for that amount of time is hard-boiled egg. That's what it came about. But nowadays with refrigerators, you're all the more allowed to use Eiruv Tavshilin whatever you want. You know, hard-boiled egg is easiest. Also makes it easier for you to hold it. But I've made Eiruv Tavshilin in other people's houses. Once or twice. They'll ask me to do it. I'm like holding up like a whole kugel. Right? This, okay. I've been over some Freeman's house. But yes.
There's no kavanah issue that's required when you're actually doing the cooking. It's just when you have the cooked item and you make the broth.
Right. Now, I basically hit on all the basics. Now let's talk the problems. Okay, this gets juicy. Okay, what could go wrong with that guy? So, stop there. I guess the Mechaber already tells you the solution before he tells you the problem. But let's read it out. I cut off the first line of it, but let me read it. This is Sif Zion. This you do have on top of your page, but top line I cut off. Mitzvah kol adam li'arev. It's a mitzvah for every single person to make an Eiruv Tavshilin. Actually, it's a debate. Let's say a person says, no, I'm a Baal Basar. I cooked all my food before Yom Tov. Is it still an inyan to do an Eiruv Tavshilin? The Mechaber says, mitzvah kol adam li'arev. Moshe Feinstein seems to say you don't need to, but he says, things could always go wrong. So that's a good idea to have an Eiruv. So mitzvah kol adam li'arev. Mitzvah kol gadol la'ir. There's a mitzvah on the great one in the city, la'arev al kol b'nei iro, to make an Eiruv for his whole city, k'dei sheyismoch alav, in order that they should have to rely on him. Here's where your sheets begin. Mi shachach, someone who forgot. O nenas, or he had an emergency, a total accident. O sheniach Eiruv va'avad, or he had an Eiruv, but somehow it got lost. Right, delegated, right? V'hu adin, this is also relevant. Ama'aretz, sheni yodei la'arev. Fortunately, in every Jewish city, I'm sure there are people that just don't know these halachas and didn't make an Eiruv. Happens. Avo misha efshel la'arev la'arev. A person has the ability to make an Eiruv and doesn't make an Eiruv. Elosha wrote so this machariv shagadol all year. Oh, I heard something. You can rely on the rabbi. The rabbi is making one for us.
That's only video.
Nikra posheya ve'eno yotze bo. He is called someone who's careless, and you're not yotze with him. So that's a problem. Now, so from the simple reading of the Mechaber, look, a person, you have a Jew who's not educated, doesn't know about it, sounds like there you could always rely on the rabbi. But someone who's knowledgeable and someone who says, okay, he knows something, he knows, oh, the rabbi makes one. Oh, I'll rely on the rabbi. Why'd I have to do this? So there the Mechaber says, no, it doesn't work. Now, what does it mean in a Yotzebo? Simply put, that means you can't cook for Shabbos. Don't worry, we'll get you out of it. Hopefully, somewhat. Wait, I have to make more problems first. More problems. You only enjoy the solutions better if we have more problems. Now, look at the first Mishnah Berurah in Chaf Beis. Misha Shachach. If you forgot it. This is all the first time. Aval. The Regel Hasheni Shachach. If you forgot a second time. Olapam. Have Kiposheya. Berurah brings, you have a din of a posheya. Nikar she'ino chared dvar mitzvah. You are not a charedi. You are not chared, literally trembling when it comes from mitzvahs. The dinam of verb is you're in trouble. So the simple reading of this Mishnah Berurah is the second time around, you're in trouble. You have one time, and this is one time per lifetime. One time you're allowed to forget. There's no reset. Not even when you turn 70. Second bar mitzvah, 83. You know? There's one get out of jail card, that's it. If you forget one time, you're okay. The second time, you're in trouble.
But if it's 25 years later, you probably forgot that you forgot the first time. You're a total heretic.
Now, I'm going to make it worse. Look at this. If you look on the bottom of your sheets, the Chavetz Chaim in his footnotes, in the Shara Tzir writes, the Kasvur Achronim, V'hu Adinim Shachach Machmas Atzlos. Shalom Machmas Tirda. The normal case of a person forgetting, Erev Yontif is busy. So my wife reminded me 5 times, make an Erev Tavshilin. I got those like magnets in the mail from some yeshiva. I put it on my door, I put it on my car, I put it on my forehead. I still forgot. Right? You're sitting there, why did I tie that string around my finger? What was that for? I still forgot it. Look what he writes. Afil bipam rishona. Even the first time, you're out. If it was an accident, it was because of tirda, it was a busy Erev Yontif, fine. If you clearly were able to do it, it wasn't a busy Erev Yontif. I was sitting by the hotel. Life was good. Okay, you ask Rabbi, the hotel, I don't have to cook anything. Okay. Whatever. You're sitting like you're by a hotel. You're sitting back. Your maids are taking care of everything. But you forgot to do it. Even one time you're out. You can't rely on the rabbi.
And next week's year will be on what is not busy Erev Yontif.
I can't afford to give a share like that.
I'm just not. I'm not sure I understand such a thing.
Yes.
If it was an emergency, it's also one time and you're out.
Yes. No, emergency, you got a second time. But if the person's reason why if he forgot was machmas atzlos, was a bad midah, you're lazy, you didn't do it, you're out of there. And you can't rely on the rabbi. Now.
You got ran out of time.
Huh?
This does not make sense.
Okay, why?
I'm sorry. There is no such thing.
No. A guy who runs out of time, that's a tirda.
I understand. What I'm saying is this other concept.
The lazy guy. You can't picture a lazy guy who's not busy on Erev Yontif.
Everybody triages. You make this a higher
Yeah.
priority.
How early can you make your Tavshilin?
Oh, good point.
And how do you?
Right? You could make it.
Make it a year before.
Right? No. Really, from our case, right? We talked about even doing it for now to the end of the second yontif.
Yeah.
So it can even be days in advance.
No. So you can do days in advance of the
Yeah,
first
you
one.
could. You could. But, practically, the Mepharshim say the best time to do it is Erev Yontif. Yes. But you're right. Maybe a smart thing, Harvey's bringing up a fantastic point, is maybe we should all do Eiruv Tavshilin in the morning. Come back from Shachris, do an Eiruv Tavshilin before you really get busy. That's a fantastic point.
We should do it now when we get home.
Look, tell your wife stop boiling that egg.
Can a wife do the Erev Tavshilin?
Huh? I do worry though. Yes. Any male or female over bar mitzvah could do it. And don't put something else on her plate. See, how do people do this? Could my wife do it? Right?
They always have.
I do that with Tavshilin.
They always have time. But I think what Harvey hit on is a great point. Probably the best time to do an Erev Tavshilin is after Shachris and Erev Yontif. First thing you do when you come home, do an Erev Tavshilin. It'll solve a lot of problems. You do it days before, I'm a little nervous, all the more so things get lost. Even in the refrigerator and this. And, it's one of these eggs. I've had these cases before. It's one of these eggs. Oh, no. Okay, so that basically means you can't have any egg. That might be the one. Then we start getting into roves and brera, and that's all complicated. The rabbis are going to pull out their hair. Now, I want to show you two other cases which look very interesting. I give the credit to Dirshu for this. Yeah. When I originally spoke and said you get one per lifetime, that's a machlokas. The one per lifetime idea is an idea written by the Chaya Adam. And for sure, if you're Ashkenazi in this room, you're in trouble. However, the Kaf HaChaim, Yaakov Chaim Sofer, Sephardi Posek, does say, as long as they're not two consecutive ones, you get a restart. Okay, so if you want to adopt the Sephardi Posek for this, talk to your local Sephardi Posek.
You saying this during Elul? By Sparta, Elul is not the time for that. It's more of a Nissan part.
Look, they have to be hit with their, they say Slichos and Elul, they get Makos. Here's a leniency if you're a Sephardi. Because the Kaf HaChaim does say that you get a reset. It's only two straight Yom Tov, not too many Yom Tov. But in the Ashkenazi world, they're always scary. It's one per lifetime. I think this is a pretty cool thing. This might mean a new step in the Shidduch research topics. They bring a case. What happens if the wife has one forgetting and the husband has none? So when they forget, it's the wife's second and the husband's first. Right? In the Shidduch resume. Zero forgets. Right? A lot going for her.
That question comes after you use the plastic paper.
Right.
What age you have the forgetting strike?
So
And so if it's typically
so the case was where she's better than the guy. The guy the other way. The guy had one coming into marriage. She had none, and they forgot. Right? The guy told his wife, "Hey, make the Eiruv," and she forgot. She says, "Don't worry, I have one." The halacha is she goes after him, and if this is his second strike, she's in trouble too.
So does that apply to everybody in the family?
If
You got kids, right?
Yeah.
You get one strike.
Just the way.
Yeah.
One of the kids.
We have a Masorah that the great majority.
Usually the head of the household is going to be the one doing it, and all the strikes go on him.
So why should the wife pick up?
What's in my house?
Yeah. Now
So there's no.
they also bring a case. Let's say you forgot once, and the second time it was a different type of ones. Let's say you have two things. Two things are two different ways. One you forgot, and the other one got eaten. So there the debate, is that considered 2 strikes or not? Okay. But now let's get down to the practical. Okay, Rabbi, I fit one of those categories. I forgot. It's my 2nd strike. I wasn't doing anything Erev Yontif. I was just lazy. Oh boy, you're in trouble. Thirdly, I did it. I didn't forget. Except I forgot and ate it. Or someone else ate it. Or it got lost. So what do? So, eitzah number 1, which you already mentioned, get invited out. If you can eat by someone else, you don't do any cooking, you're okay. Remember we said other people can't do cooking for you in that they can't send food over, but it seems it would be okay if you would eat by them. Okay. Next step, you go to your rabbi. Right? If I say the first time you forgot, you go to your rabbi. Someone actually asked me this, son of a rabbi. What happens if the rabbi forgot?
That's like zero.
Huh? That's a great reference, but here you're in trouble. Tell you why. In Sphira, there's a debate in general, can I make a bracha if I've got one night? So there's, Harvey's revealing the rabbi's secrets. But Moshe Feinstein has a tshuva that for the honor of a rabbi, the cover of the rabbi, even if he forgot, and he's the one reciting the bracha in shul, he's allowed to recite a bracha even after he forgot for one total day. That's a special rabbi's dispensation. A rabbi should look honorable in the eyes of his community. A rabbi would be allowed to do that. What about over here? Let's say the rabbi forgot. It's trickier. There you have there's a shita that says that. Now we'll talk over here. Is there a shita to do this? So maybe we'll come back to that. But I want to mention, there is a Sharat Tzion mentioned, dropped earlier. So first of all, if you live in a religious metropolis and there are multiple rabbanim in the city, go to the next rabbi. Okay, this rabbi forgot. There are other rabbis in the city. As long as his Eiruv was potentially inclusive of you, that's good. I'll go even further.
Does a rabbi do that for the community or does he do it for a show?
Great. So it's best, I would think it's best to do it as broad as you can. I'll give you another one. In fact, I'll do this. In fact, anyone here could do this. Look what he writes. This is a Sharat Tzion Laman Aleph. It's on the page before, so I didn't put it down. Where he writes, "Ala kol adam yachol lahaknos eivuro, umi sheya'anes yachol lismoch al zeh." King called Swachran. You don't have to be the Gadol Hadar. You don't have to be the Gadol Ha'ir. Anyone could do this.
The Lashon says.
Excellent. I was going to get to that point if I remember. You for sure reminded me.
All the people in my town.
Right? When you make an Eiruv, that is actually what you do say. I'm doing this myself, and anyone who might need it.
It's an Erev Tavshilin Gemach.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
How far does this work? Can I just say I'm having in mind the world?
Yeah. So the language,
It's got to be something
right?
that you can
The
actually
language
help
you
on
use
on
is
Shabbos.
this city. That's what you're saying. I'm having in mind anyone in the city. Now, I don't know where the Miami Beach city limits are.
Can you change it to just?
Mrs. Stillerman lives in Miami Beach. Huh?
Can you just say the world instead of the city?
I think what the takana was made for the city. So that's why I'll keep it like that.
Well, you
Also, someone beyond the city, how's he going to walk to you to find out that you did an Erev?
right.
Google before Shabbos.
Yeah. Before Shabbos, you can do it.
How much before Shabbos? Just making it tough.
Eggs are too expensive.
Now,
Piece of matzah in an egg.
Have a glide, Google your glide test.
25 cents.
there is another eitzah out there. A little bit complicated, but not too bad. Another way we could potentially cook an Erev Yontif. This is without being another invitation to get to someone else, without the rabbi doing it for you your one time, or a different rabbi doing it for you your one time. There is another potential eitzah that you make it tonight. This is what you would do. Nowadays, practically, we know that our 2 days of Yontif, right? My 2 days of Yontif was made out to suffix which day is Yontif, first day or second day. Now we know we have a calendar today, so practically, but halakhically, most poskim say the fact that we have a calendar doesn't change this halacha, which is brought down. So you could say it like this: if today is Yontif, then I'm not cooking for, let's say, on the first day of Yontif. I'm just cooking for today. But tomorrow, then I could go and cook for Shabbos. If tomorrow is Yontif, then great. Today, on Thursday, I'm cooking for Shabbos. So you could potentially make it tonight. One big caveat for that idea, that does not work for Rosh Hashanah. Because Rosh Hashanah is viewed as one long day, 2 days, but it's really one long day. Yontif doesn't work. This would just be in Chutz La'aretz. Between those 2 days, you potentially could make it tonight. Practically, yeah, we don't. Yeah. Anytime you deal with it tonight, it can be complicated.
What about I'm cooking for today and just happen to keep on cooking?
Cooking extra because guests might.
I'm cooking extra. I'm cooking for today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it just happens to be that I.
Yeah. So that right, a very good case. That's what you call a little bit of a harama, a trick.
Mm-hmm.
So in general, there's halacha
most of our wives
on Yontif of Marbid Bishvilo. You're adding here for Shabbos. They do look a skin to such behavior. So we definitely would try to avoid such a thing. Now, one last little potential for an eitzah. Ooh, thanks. But see, when you have a clock in the room, you're in trouble. But in general, there are posts and there are rabbanim that will be makel even a second time around, where a person forgets to be makel. First of all, we already found the Kaf HaChaim, who says it has to be 2 straight Yom Tov. You got to reset every other Yom Tov. But besides that, the Aruch HaShulchan in general brings Stadim Halacha to be makel. The Chavetz Chaim in the Sharat Zion, on the bottom of your sheets, it's really the Mishabura Sivkatan Chav Zayin, and that's what it is. Read it just above on the bottom, as well as the bottom Sharat Zion I have there. He says, "After b'di'evi yesh lizmach haposkim l'hak misham simchas yantif." He does say that. Sort of a Welcher wanted to read that. That Mishabura means it's not pashat. You don't necessarily do that. Aruch HaShulchan was quicker to do it. Even according to everybody, if you forget, you have no food to eat, you're allowed to cook for sure a bare minimum of just food to, cook nefesh, let's eat food. But you definitely walk away with the following idea: that, hey, when it comes to an Eiruv Tavshilin, a person should try to do what's best to do it ahead of time, not forget it. I think the idea we said before of remembering to do it the first thing right after Shachris and Erev Yontif, and I would add to this, right? Maybe every Gabbai in the shul should have an announcement on Erev Yontif. I think they probably should do it twice, right? Because I've seen this in shul. Firstly, they should do it after Shachris and Erev Yontif, and secondly, right after Mincha on Erev Yontif. I've seen places where a guy runs out of the shul, right? Erev Mincha, depending how late you start, it's only a few minutes. You can run to your house and they can Erev Tavshilin. Talk about Shmashos exactly, but you could do it last minute. So definitely Kedai to have announcements and reminders that people remember, so that they won't be that guy forget, it's Erev Tavshilin. Thank you very much. But as Hashem, hope to have another share next week. Hope to knock off a few of the more topics we have with Yom Narayim, Sukkot, cover those before we blink and it's all here. Thank you very much. Great to be back.